Good morning. It's Sunday morning, and here I am again with a Sunday thought. Interestingly, this week, I had a situation come up which made me really remember and think about synchronization and how life so often gives us an answer if we ask the question. A few days ago, I was having a conversation with, I'll say, a person who is connected to a relation of mine, an ex-husband. And one of the things during the conversation, I was mentioning, I should mention that my second ex-husband has the onset of dementia and has created a little bit of an issue in the sense of phone calls and texts and worry and things like that. And so I had been contemplating a few days before this how when I look back at my childhood, I don't remember all my older relatives, and I had a lot of them having loss of mind, their mind not being lost at all. And I think about now where people have Alzheimer's and dementia and other mental things. And I myself find sometimes I'll go for a word and I can't find it. It's just not there. And maybe 2 or 3 hours later, it might come in. And that is a decrease from several years earlier where I could always find the word. And I was contemplating this, thinking, this is strange. Is it our food? Is it that which things they drop down in the air, which we know about, the chemtrails, the other elements that are being put in the air, which no one really talks about, but many of us know that are there. And actually, I've seen it sometimes. There was a time once when I was looking outside and I thought, is it raining? And there's no rain. But I could see these little things like raindrops. And then I went to visit my son down in the Vancouver area. And I said to him, is it raining outside? No. I said, well, I can see things like rain, like what's going on. So then I actually learned quite a bit that there were sort of things being dropped from high up above down upon us. And I guess I was seeing that. Now, in this particular case, contemplating how come so many people have Alzheimer's, dementia, memory loss, etc., almost being accepted as this is norm. And I knew from my history that it wasn't norm when I was growing up. Now, I grew up in New Zealand where the food is very good and lots of sunshine and all those things. But still, you would have thought of all the relatives I had, that would have been obvious. Not really. I think I did hear of one cousin who's close to my age was beginning to have some difficulties. But, on the whole, no. How come? So anyway, the synchronicistical part is I had contemplated this. I talked about it in a conversation with someone that I was thinking this. How come? Was it our food? Was it the air? Was the water? What was it? So I don't know. The next day, I think it was the next day, I did something I don't usually do these days, and that is I was on Facebook. I usually look at my messenger because people are messaging me things back and forth, and I post that I've got my YouTubes up, and I sometimes post like about classes coming up and things like that. And I just was tuning down because it was like one of my great nieces, and I wanted to see what she had said, and I was looking down. And here was an element about some new combination of herbs that are being presented based on correcting what they called was a protein in the brain that shouldn't be there and was stopping and blocking these currents. And that they had taken a wonderful new look at it. So I'm sure it's still around on Facebook. I forget the name of it. I know that I ordered some of these things. I thought, wow, if this really does work, like they're saying, I'm willing to experiment for a couple of months and see, because I'm a great believer in herbs and other natural products. Not that I actually take a lot of natural things these days. I used to take more. But anyway, that's another story. The synchronization was, here I am contemplating a thought, And the next day, the answer is given to me as to how come the people haven't responded. The interesting story, I'm just going to do a quick little story here, because this gentleman's wife had an early onset of Alzheimer's. He was a researcher, and he went looking, and he went looking, and he went looking, and he went looking, and found that the University of Tel Aviv, two brothers, had taken a whole different approach and had been having really good success. But of course, the big pharma, etc., are not involved in that. It's not chemicals. It's all natural. And anyway, to make a long story short, it's his journey, and he ended up creating a combination of these herbs. I really will assure you, when they arrive, because I only just ordered them, when these arrive, I will test them for 2 to 3 months, and I will definitely let you know if I find there is a marked difference. I am getting concerned because before it was occasional, now it's becoming more often when I go for a word and it is not there. So, and that's disturbing when you think I'm on YouTube now 3 times a week. And so I wanted to know, but I want you to look at those synchronizations that happen. All those things. Oh, great. I left my phone way over there. You're going to have a ding, ding, ding going on. So we'll let it ring. It's just to explain and just to assert that there is what do you call it? A synchronization. And that, hey, this is something that to pay attention to, because we've got a sound, a complement. Now, one of the other elements that I want you to think about is how often, I wish it would go away. There it is, silence. Shouldn't start again. One of the things I really want you to think about how often that happens. You have a thought that goes out and then you get the answer one way or the other. Often we don't really recognize that the answer has come in. Now, I always say that we are creating as we go along, and the universe responds to us, and it responds in many ways. If you give something a lot of thought, if you want a goal, if you want something to happen and occur, it will occur. It will come forth. It will bring itself to the end of what you want. Now, I found it interesting that because we find that everything occurs, that right when I was saying certain things that the phone went, and I don't remember now what I was saying, but I do know that interference like that is often when you're saying something that may not want to be expressed. So that would be interesting to see what exactly I was talking about then. I think it was being aware of what you think and how things are presented in your life, being aware of how all these things happen, and do you respond to them? Do you catch them up, or do you ignore them? Very often, we ignore things, like it's right there in front of you and it's like, no, I don't see it, or I don't hear it, or I'm not aware of it. And that's just something to be aware of. So that's my Sunday thought today. Look for the synchronizations that happen in your life. You have a thought and the answer comes from somewhere, and it can be anywhere. I have found answers in my life on billboards, overhearing conversations, a book I was reading, something I've pondered on and wondered. There's the answer. Now, that happened a lot more when I was younger and putting lectures together and things like that. But at the same point, it does happen, and it'll happen to you as well. And just as I complete this, I just want to say, if you're not aware already, on Monday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific time, I've got a new show. I guess I can call it a show. It's called Mental Mind Treatments. And if you're a little unsure of what to do, how to go, it's like a prayer method that I have that I've been using for years and years. And I'm taking it as for a month, 6 weeks, as an experiment. Every Monday night at 7, I will be live. You can chat to me to tell me what your issue is. I will do a mental mind treatment for you, and we'll see. We had 2 last week. They were very happy with what I did. I trust you'll come, and it's a nice way of having clarity come into your world. And then, of course, Wednesday, I'll be back with my longer talk on Norma Talks. Boy, I don't have as much synchronicity this morning as I thought I had. You take care. Have a great week.